I'm forgiven because you were forsaken. I'm accepted, you were condemned. I'm alive and well, your spirit lives within me because you died and rose again. Amazing love, amazing love. How can it be that you, my King, would die for me? Amazing love, I know it's true, and it's my joy to honor you in all I do. I honor you. Now for the Bible talk today, I want to turn to the Gospel of John. Some of you have a little Testament with you or a Bible. I'm going to turn to the Gospel of John chapter 5. John chapter 5, Jesus has just come into Jerusalem to the pool of Bethesda, which is by the marketplace, and there he saw a great crowd of people. And they were distressed and depressed and diseased in many different ways. And no doubt they had exhausted all their resources, and they were here at this pool out of desperation. You see, it had been told, and they believed, that at a particular time of the year, an angel would come down and stir up the waters in the pool, and the first one who stepped into the water would be healed of whatever disease he had. So they came here out of desperation, hoping that by chance, maybe on a fluke, they would meet God today, and that God would minister healing to their particular infirmity. Well, Jesus is walking among the people, and I think he's seeking someone with faith. His eyes are always peeled for people with a spiritual need and people to whom he can minister. Well, here in John chapter 5, he's moving among the people, and he's looking for faith, and he finds a man with a spark of faith in him. And Jesus detected that faith, and he turned to him and said, this is in verse 6, the King James says, and you're all familiar with this powerful line, Jesus said, wilt thou be made whole? Now, the man didn't fully understand what Jesus was asking. He thought that Jesus was referring to healing from the stirring of the waters. We know that because he said to Jesus, sir, I have no one to put me in the water. Every time I try to get into the water, someone else pushes ahead of me and gets in and gets the healing that I should have gotten. Now, obviously, that's not what Jesus has in mind. He wants to heal not just a sick body, but he wants to heal him inside and out. This is why he said to him, do you want to be made whole? Sometimes we want God to stop by our lives like a fix-it man with his pickup truck, take out his toolbox and fix what we want him to fix and be on his way. Jesus doesn't work that way. What he wants to do, he wants to move into your life. He not only wants to show up, but he wants to take over. And he wants to become the Lord of your life. We have a physical body, but we are not primarily physical beings. You're not just an animal. You're not just the top of the food chain in the animal kingdom. You have a body, but you're not primarily a physical being. You have a soul, but you're not mainly a soulish or a psychical being. The word soul is the word psyche, from which we get psychology. You're more than just body and mind. But you also are a spiritual being. The Bible teaches that. So really there are three parts to you. There is spirit and soul and body. Your spirit and soul and body. And these three parts of your being are so integrated that when one part is out of sorts, the whole man is affected. That's why Jesus came to the man and said, sir, I want to do more than heal you physically. I want to make you whole. Spirit, soul, and body. I want to make you a whole functioning human being. And you know what? He wants to make you whole. He wants to make me whole. We were not born whole, and I can't make myself whole. And so the only way I can be whole is for Jesus to make me whole. And once it was established the man really did want to be made whole, Jesus instructed him to do three things. I want to give them to you very simply. Number one, Jesus told the man to rise. Do you see that? Rise, he said. I want you to see this. When Jesus looked at the man, he looked beyond what the human eye could see. His look penetrated to the deepest level of the man's being. And he saw that the man's problem, listen, the man's problem was not his impotent body, it was his impotent spirit. His problem was not that he was lying down on the outside. His problem was he was lying down on the inside. There are people right here today, some sitting and some standing, and some of the sound of my voice, some right here today. And your problem is you've laid down on the inside. The problem is not that you have problems. The problem is that problems have you. Here's the second thing he said. Jesus said, pick up your bed. Rise, pick up your bed. Watch this now. Jesus is talking to the man's soul. And much of our problems today stem from the fact that our soul is messed up. Our soul is fragmented. What we know intellectually, what we feel emotionally, and what we do volitionally is out of whack. And so Jesus says to the man's soul, take up your bed. To the intellect, he's saying, you got to think differently. See, got to have a different mindset. You can't expect to live different if you're going to think the same. Jesus speaks to the man's emotions and says you got to feel differently. You have to take on a different disposition. You have to stop letting circumstances dictate your attitude. And somebody's thinking, now wait a minute, I can't help the way I feel, and I know that. Sometimes we can't help the way we feel. But I've got good news for you. God can help you help the way you feel. Now watch. Jesus says to the man's will, you have to make a choice. You have to decide that things are going to be different. You have to will that the bed is no longer going to carry you. You're going to carry the bed. And now he says to his lame body, walk. Now, why couldn't the miracle begin with his body? Well, because the body has no will. The body has has only senses and reflexes. Really, the body is just the house we live in. So really, the miracle can't start with the body. It's got to start on the inside. You would not go to a doctor if you had a serious illness on the inside. You would not go to a doctor and say, you know what, let me just patch up the symptoms. No, you don't want a doctor to fix the symptoms. You want the doctor to get to the root of it, don't you? Would you like for your life to change? I'd like for my circumstances to change. I'd like to win the lottery. Of course, I didn't buy a ticket, but I'd still like to win it. I'd like to have a windfall. The problems I have in my life, I'm facing some difficult things right now. I would like for them just to be corrected. I'd like that. The question is, am I willing to change? See? Am I willing to let God change me?